Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. I was so excited to jump on here and tell y'all how trash I thought Kendrick Lamar was at the Super Bowl halftime, but there's so many people doing it online for me, I don't even have to. But you know I'm going to. If you were watching Kendrick Lamar live on TV at the Super Bowl halftime show, it looks like the crowd was going crazy. We have actual footage from people who were there, and it doesn't look like the crowd was very much into it. It looks like Fox News was actually helping out Kendrick. We all thought that the refs were going to help Kansas City. Well, it looks like Fox was helping out Kendrick. In yesterday's episode, we told you about Beyonce's decision to leave Jay-Z at home while she goes out on tour because she doesn't want any backlash. Well, today we have more Jigga Man backlash. It's getting hot out here for Jay-Z. Woo! What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Tuesday morning. Still not my favorite day of the week, but we made it through Monday, and Hump Day is right around the corner, so I'm in a good mood. All right, the way that we record our show, Super Bowl finished too late for us to get it in our Monday show, so we are going to cover it in today's episode. We have 4 lead stories for you. We're going to kick it off by talking and giving you guys a full breakdown on why some people think Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was the worst in history. We are also going to give you celebrity and fans' reaction. Also, Jay-Z is getting major backlash over the Kendrick Lamar performance. Also in lead stories, the NFL says they are still pro-DEI despite removing end racism out of the touchdown area. In quick news, we're going to talk Donald Trump, Ashanti, Serena Williams, Akademiks, Boosie, Drake, Dank, Kanye West, Micheal Jackson, Travis Kelce, and Stephen A. Smith. As always, we're going to close out the show with social discussion, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this Tuesday show. Let's go. Our first lead story. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. All right, one of Kendrick's biggest lines from his Super Bowl halftime performance. All right, let's just jump right into it. I want to give you guys my thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. I'm going to try to stay as fair and unbiased as possible. Y'all know I'm a big Drake fan, the Canadian that I am, and I'm a big fan of Drake, right? Canadian or not. But I could still judge a show. I'm going to start off by telling you the things that I liked, and then I'm going to tell you the things I don't like. Like I said, I want to keep this fair. There's been a lot of mixed reactions online. A lot of people are saying, not that it's bad, that it's the worst ever. I don't know if it's the worst ever, but one thing one thing nobody is saying is that it was the best ever or top 10 or memorable. So, but there are people that do like it. All right. So let's just start off with that. Now, I wrote it down so I didn't forget anything. So 1, the A Chain, brilliant. Like that was right away. And I just knew what it was right away off the bat. A+ for that. Okay. Then, the Serena part, we're going to get a little bit more into it. However, effective. And I thought it was smart. Well played. Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam. Brilliant. Brilliant. It was literally like the A pendant and then Samuel Jackson. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. He knows that that's what people was going to say. So instead of you saying it and thinking it, it's kind of, I'm just going to say it for you. Kind of like Eminem in 8 Mile. Like, I know what you're going to diss me with, and I'm just going to diss myself with it. So brilliant move. All the Easter eggs were crazy. I don't understand how he continues to come up with these Easter eggs. And I'm sure 2 or 3 days from now, it's going to be like, do you know what this meaning was? Do you know why he had his hat this way or his jacket that way? Like, Kendrick Lamar is the master at that. Well played. I've told you guys before, that's not the type of music I like. Coming from like an R&B, like an R&B is my favorite type of music, then reggae, then hip hop. I don't like the rewind. What does this mean? Rap genius. I like to dance. I like to, you know what I mean? So it's not my flavor of thing to go back and say like, oh, in this performance, this mean that or whatever. So I don't like it in the music or my performance. I would rather see a performer like a Micheal Jackson or Beyonce performing. Me personally, however, the Easter eggs, the little subtle messages, brilliant. And I take my hat off to him because he always comes up with something. In the video, he comes up with something. Wherever he is, at the Grammys, the Canadian tuxedo, without even mentioning Drake's name, brilliant, okay? The actual performance, breath control, amazing. A lot of people are not talking about that. Great performance. Now, of course, people are going to be like, well, he wasn't an R&B artist. He's not this or whatever, but you don't know what it is like rapping and moving like that and being able to keep your breath control, pronunciate everything, stay on beat. And it's very, very, very hard. People don't give good rap performances their credit for doing that. Kendrick Lamar mastered. Amazing. Most people won't even notice that, but people in the music industry, trust me, will notice that. He did a great job. Outfit, crazy. Everyone's talking about the jeans, the cut, dope outfit. Okay. I mean, not necessarily my style, but I can appreciate it. Very, very dope. SZA was dope. You know, I'm a big SZA fan. Super dope. The unapologetic blackness and the unapologetic hip hop, I take my hat off. Very well done. Very risky. And I think that's why some people are like, well, like it's not what we were looking for. It's not traditional. He did that on purpose. He's the first hip hop artist to perform, solo hip hop artist to perform. Yes, we all know that Dre and Snoop and whatever, but this was him solo. He took that on his shoulders. He put hip hop on his back and he's like, yo, I'm going to rap. Took my hat off for him. All the black references, the flag, all of that stuff. He's like, you know, I'm not here to please anybody else. I'm doing this for the culture and for hip hop. I take my hat off to him. Okay. So you got to give me credit. That is fair. It's all of the things that I like. I'm giving him credit. Now let's go to the things that were wrong. Again, just my opinion. Set list, horrible. Horrible. I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan, but even I know that there were songs from Kendrick Lamar that was missing. Like I've had conversations with people and everybody, I think this is at the top of everyone's list. In our second lead story, we're going to go to like fans' reaction and some celebs that have weighed in. Everybody has unanimously said that was the most horrible part. The set list was horrible. Okay. Even Joe Budden got a hold of it because Akademiks leaked it out. And Joe Budden was like, this was a couple of days before they actually performed. And he's like, this cannot be real. It's so fake. He would never do this. And that's exactly what he did. Set list, horrible. Song selection, horrible. The fact that he didn't have, I don't want to say surprise, but bringing out SZA was cool, but I felt like he needed something more. Something maybe to a nod of New Orleans or something, a nod to hip hop or being the first solo hip hop artist, maybe bring somebody else out. I just felt like Usher bringing out Alicia Keys, and I just didn't feel like it was grand enough for the Super Bowl. Like somebody said, like, SZA should have came out like into something grand, you know, like a big long dress or something. This is the Super Bowl. I'm going to get more into it. This is the Super Bowl stage. This is the biggest stage for a music artist. And I just felt like it just fell flat, just being him alone. He needed some more elements. And if Usher can bring out people and Beyonce, don't forget, Beyonce brought him out. This is Beyonce, brought Kendrick Lamar out for her Super Bowl. I feel like he could have brought somebody else out. I felt like that was a miss. Now, earlier when I applauded him for being unapologetically hip hop, I still felt, although he did, he also made a mistake where you could still be unapologetically hip hop, but still be global. And what I mean by that is Dre, Snoop, Kendrick was there too, 50 Cent, Eminem, they were hip hop. Nobody could say, but they still picked some songs or their set list and it came across where it was global. There's 120 million people from around the world that are watching this. And I just felt like he did a little bit of a disservice with his unapologetic hip hopness and kept it too focused. And I think that's because of Drake, but I'll get into that. But you could be unapologetically hip hop, but still be global like how Dre and Snoop and them did. Okay. It was boring. It was lackluster. I'm sorry. It just was boring. Okay. I had a huge party. There was a lot of people at my house, 60, 70 people, maybe even more. I don't know the count. There was all age groups, all age ranges, everything. Not one person said that it was amazing. Some people said it was mid. Some people said it was horrible. Some people said it was the worst thing they've ever seen. Nobody out of Kendrick Lamar fans, nobody felt excited. It's Super Bowl. You're there to entertain the world and to showcase yourself. It was boring. It didn't do anything for him as an artist. The point of Super Bowl is to celebrate an artist. It's the highest honor, the biggest stage. But I felt like he ruined that because he was so focused on Drake. Some people are saying that he shouldn't have done Not Like Us because of the fact that it's giving Drake too much of a look. And I agree with it or not. I felt like if he didn't do it, it would have just looked like Drake won because, you know, the whole suing with Universal. So I understood why he had to do it. But my point is that a Super Bowl is not just, oh, we're just going to pick a hot artist for the year. It's always been somebody that has a catalog of music, and it's almost like celebrating them. You know, they don't have to have been around for 40 or 50 years, but it's like Rihanna is cemented. You celebrate her. Beyonce, you're celebrating her. Dre, Snoop, or whatever. That's a legacy that's cementing them. That's why everybody was like, yo, it would have been dope to have Lil Wayne, the Hot Boys, Master P. You know, like you're celebrating New Orleans culture. So I felt like he did a disservice, and it's because he was so focused on Drake. And I feel like he missed an opportunity to showcase Kendrick Lamar. And even if he doesn't have the depths of a catalog, let's say like a Rihanna that's like mainstream, I felt like he should have just focused on cementing his legacy as a prolific writer, performer, and artist. And all everybody was doing was, are you going to do Not Like Us? And I think he did a mistake by teasing us 3 or 4 times all the way through his performance, saying like, oh, that's why this, I started off with that line. Like, I don't know, I want to do it, but you know, they like to sue. Like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Like, you made your whole performance based on Not Like Us, which is a beef with another man. Like, that's not the point of Super Bowl. I felt like that was a big miss. Somebody in his team should have told him about that. Ask yourself this, and I really want you guys to think about this. Ask yourself this. Did you really love Kendrick Lamar's performance, or do you really just hate Drake? Think about that. That whole performance, the motive behind it was, yo, he actually did it. He got the crowd to say the word that the NFL didn't let him say. He got to get off the singing at the end, which I don't even want to say it now, right? Because you don't want to get flagged, but y'all know the part that I'm talking about. Okay. Your hatred for Drake should not be bigger than your love for a performance. That's all everyone's talking about. No one's like, yo, I love that song. I love when he did this song. That's what you're supposed to do. You listen to Usher, you're like, I love that he did this song. I love that he did the Alicia Keys song or Beyonce. It was just like, let's just wait to see if I could do this diss track with Drake. Like, I feel like people's hatred for Drake is what's making people like it. The people that like it just like it because they hate Drake and they're like, ha ha ha, Drake got finished. Game over for Drake. So ask yourself, did you really like the performance, or do you actually just hate Drake that much? Okay. 2 more things. His performance was centered around one song, and that's not what Super Bowl is about. He teased it throughout the show. All right, so I already told you that. I forgot that was a point, so I put that in already, okay? And what I would like to say in closing, and by the way, I know I said it already, but I really want to know what you guys think. Like, do you not at least agree with me on that one point that the whole performance was centered around one song and that was a big miss? That's why I wanted to end it off, but I slid it in earlier. But let me know in the comment section below, okay? Now, in closing my opinion, and then we're going to go and talk about some other people's opinion, what I would like to say is Kendrick ended off the show with game over. Now, regardless of what I thought, and I did think that it was trash. I do. I think it was trash. Although I think there were some great elements in it. I don't know if it's the worst, but it was trash. If I could ask one thing of Kendrick Lamar, and if you guys go back to last week, I asked Drake the same thing. Can you guys both stop this now? Kendrick said, game over. Drake has an album coming out this Friday. Guys, you are going to continue this. So if you continue this so much, it goes beyond beef to turning people off, and you're going to make that your whole career, or the ending of your careers, is about this, and people are grown tired of it. Kendrick, you have a stadium tour. I'm not saying don't perform the song, but all of this, the Easter eggs in this, we're going to keep on going, keep on going. I personally think people are tired of it. You put out Game Over. Those people who feel like you won, done. Just let it go. I think it should be over. You got your Grammys. You got your Super Bowl off. Go. And I'm not just saying this for him, or I'm not just saying this for Drake. I'm saying it for both of them. Hang it up. Let's do something else. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second lead story. Fans call Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl show the worst ever. Another headline. And just like that, the worst Super Bowl halftime performance goes to Kendrick Lamar. This is an epic fail. Let's go to Entertainment Tonight. And I want to go to the comment section. Kendrick Lamar brings out SZA for epic Super Bowl halftime performance. Leslie Quanto 85 says, was the worst show ever in history at the Super Bowl. Another person said, I don't understand one single word that's coming out of his mouth. Very disappointing. That's probably somebody who's not used to hip hop shows. So I don't know how fair that is. Another person said, epic. Were we watching the same Super Bowl halftime show? Somebody else said, not epic. This was a snooze fest. Another person said, a perfect long bathroom break for me. By the way, I'm not skipping anything. I'm literally just going in order. Worst Super Bowl halftime show ever, right? One of the worst shows I've ever seen. I'm so disappointed. One of the worst Super Bowl halftime shows. Nothing epic about it. This was lackluster. It was boring. Somebody said, no, I actually liked it. I know some people were saying that it was boring. It was just mid. Like some of you said, another person said this was awful. Epic. What are you talking about? Now, I wanted to take Entertainment Tonight for a reason. If you go to a hip hop blog, obviously the hip hop community is going to be like, this was really dope. I just wanted to start off with this by just showing you like the average person that was like, yo, I liked Usher, I like Chris Brown. I just want to give you guys what the average person is. And like I started out with lead stories, I understand being hip hop, but you also have to understand that you're playing for 120,000 people. And again, he could do whatever he wants. I just think he's doing a disservice to himself by not taking advantage of the moment of being in front of a big stage to present himself in a different light. And some people are going to say, well, that's because he just wanted to be hip hop and he doesn't care about money. He just cares about the culture. I think the best thing you could do for the culture is to let people understand more about the culture. And the more people understand about our culture is the better it is for our culture, because it helps everybody who is in the culture, if that makes sense to you guys, right? Like, you don't want to shut people out and just keep it on its own little side thing over here. Then it wouldn't have grown to one of the biggest art forms in the world over the past 50 years, right? It's artists being able to stay loyal to hip hop, but also being able to cross over and not sell themselves out. So I know people are already going to say that in the comment section. So that's my answer to those people. Anyway, somebody else said terrible, boring, worst halftime show ever, etc., etc. Okay, I could literally keep going on and on. All right, let's go over to the crowd reaction. Now, a lot of people are saying that Fox News was feeding in some cheers because there was a lot of people that were booing. And A lot of people didn't believe it, so I found some things online of some videos circulating online of how the crowd actually was. Take a listen. All right, here's another one. Take a listen to this and also look at the people in the crowd. Bro, that's people sitting down on their phones, like chilling. Nobody was sitting down during Usher. Nobody was sitting down during Beyonce. Like, that is not a good look, man. All right, let's go over to what I said to you guys before, Joe Budden. When I think I have this in quick stories, we're going to tell you about Akademiks leaking the set list. Joe Budden got a hold of it, and the article says, well, this didn't age well. On Joe Budden's last podcast, he said he heard every second of the leaked Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl list set and says that it was the worst song list of all times, claiming it was so bad it couldn't even be real. He said, let me tell whoever this cultureless kid is that put this together, this is the worst Super Bowl lineup I've ever heard. However, he had no clue that it was actually really his set list. Horrible. And Joe Budden is a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. This is another person, sorry, not another person. This was Isaac Hayes III, the CEO and owner of Fanbase. The Super Bowl halftime show was more about Drake than Kendrick. Exactly what I said to you guys. There was a real opportunity for Kendrick to separate himself from this dragged on beef and move forward doing his biggest hits. It just felt weird. It's exactly what I said to you guys. Here is Charlemagne, my homie, my guy. Shout out to Char. Now, you know Char is a big Drake hater. Ideally, he really loves Drake deep down inside, but doesn't want to admit it. But he is also a big fan of Kendrick. Listen to him say and give critique without like being super obvious. Take a listen.
Aesthetically, I gave it a 10, but I agree with Envy. I thought his set list could have been way better. He could have just picked bigger, high energy songs than the ones he did.
I gave it a 10, but I think his set list could have been way better. He didn't say one song. He said his set list could have been way better, you know? All right, listen again. Or sorry, not again, but listen to this next one.
I just did not want to hear Baca, Chubbs, and Party's name on stage at the Super Bowl.
It's a diss record. It's probably one of his biggest records ever. He had to do it. He had to.
No, he didn't.
He had to.
He didn't have to.
I think he did. That's his biggest record ever.
See, he's saying, I was like, why do I want to hear all of Drake's friends? You're giving Drake way too much shine. So he's giving it a 10 because, of course, it's what he wants to do. That's his man's. But his set list, this is Charlemagne's point, his set list could have been way better. And the fact that, like Isaac was saying, is that it was all about Drake, and you're there and you're talking about, you're using the verse that talks about Drake and all his friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baca's an artist from Toronto. His name was said on the Super Bowl stage. Like, I don't know. I just really don't think that it was a good move strategically. And I think that he might look back at this years from now when that's all over and been like, geez, man, my one Super Bowl chance. You don't get a second chance, huh? He's going to say, man, my one chance, I miss an opportunity to take my stardom and take my work and take my years of dedication to this game to another level, all because I wanted to put, a dot the I on this Drake beef and cross the T and be like, this is game over. Like, that's what you want to be known for? The guy who won a battle against Drake, that's what you want to go down for? Like, come on, Kendrick, you're a Pulitzer Prize winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. But anyways, I just feel like even though that I'm not a big Kendrick fan, I still have a huge amount of respect for him, of what he's done in hip hop culture and artists. And I love the way he moves, and he's a smart dude. I just think strategically this was not a good look for him. And that's why I say I think it was trash. Not only just the set list and all that stuff, just strategy wise. And last thing, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot about this, but Kendrick, the one thing I said that Kendrick did better than Drake in this beef was he out-strategized Drake. And Drake, how he beat Meek was with strategy. So I was surprised that Kendrick had a better strategy coming out with Not Like Us as Drake put out his track, and it was the strategy was perfect. This strategy for Super Bowl, horrible, dude. Anyways, so that was my opinion on it. And then I just read to you people's opinion. And of course, I read the bad ones just to show you like what most people outside of our hip hop community is saying. But of course, there are some people who like it. Of course, well, a lot of people who like it inside the hip hop community. But like I said, I think it's more of just his fans. And if you already have your fan base, that's fine. Play to them. I love it. I get it. But you're on a Super Bowl stage, bro. This is not just a concert. You're doing a concert. You're doing a stadium tour. Do that on your concert. This is the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Anyways, I've talked about it enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll be prepared for a little bit of dragging. I know I'm going to get it anyway. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third lead story. Jay-Z faces backlash after Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance. All right, by the way, this is going back to a hip hop blog. Okay, listen to what they're saying. Just want to let you guys know I went to Entertainment Tonight to prove a point, but now I'm coming back to our culture. Okay, so some fans of the hip hop community are not holding back after the Super Bowl halftime performance featuring Kendrick Lamar. After Kendrick Lamar performed his set list, including hits like Not Like Us, some viewers went to X, formerly known as Twitter, to share their thoughts, with some calling it boring and others pointing the finger at Jay-Z's, the NFL's live music entertainment strategist. One critic shared, "Everyone agrees that this Super Bowl halftime show was the worst in history. Remove Jay-Z immediately from the decision-making process." On the flip side, other fans tweeted Kendrick Lamar was the first ever rapper to solo headline the Super Bowl halftime show, and it was great. Shout out to Jay-Z for continuing to push the envelope. Okay, so let's go over and just read some of them here. Kendrick Lamar was the first. Okay, we already read that. Time for the NFL to fire Jay-Z and Rocnation. Make the Super Bowl halftime show great again. Jay-Z needs to be, I'm not going to say, but Jay-Z needs to be disciplined for Kendrick's halftime show. And I like Kendrick, but this might be the most boring halftime show I have ever seen. Somebody else said, time to fire Jay-Z as head of the halftime selection. He's using his personal feelings and vendettas in his decision-making, and it's not fair. A diss song shouldn't be what wins you a Super Bowl halftime performance. New Orleans deserves better. Another person said, Kendrick really don't have hits for the Super Bowl. Jay-Z, not cool, for making him the headliner for the whole performance. Boring. Somebody said, yeah, turn your TV off for sure. Kendrick and Jay-Z teamed up to get him in the Super Bowl stage to humble Drake, only for him to embarrass himself. Like, this is the worst Super Bowl halftime show in history. Everybody agrees that this year's Super Bowl halftime is the worst in history. Remove Jay-Z immediately from the decision-making progress and send him, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. I said send him to prison while we're at it. I'm going to talk about that more in quick stories. SZA was the highlight for Kendrick Lamar performance. Like, it's everywhere. I could keep going on. Somebody says, this isn't even to say Kendrick isn't a great performer, because he is. This particular performance was just extremely underwhelming. He let Jay-Z get into his head and convince him to just go up and hype him up for Drake. Like, you can't have that, man. You just cannot have that. So Jay-Z is getting backlash. I don't know what he's going to do next. I don't know what the NFL is going to do. Maybe next year, might try to redeem himself and go to rock music or do something pop. I don't know. We've been getting in a lot of hip hop and a lot of R&B the past 5 years since Jay-Z's been ahead. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, just not a good look, guys. Not a good look. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fourth lead story. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell maintains that the league is still pro-DEI despite removing End Racism slogan. All right, last week we told you, and I actually just dragged the NFL for saying they're pro-DEI, but taking out the End Racism. I'll give you guys a quick paragraph to bring you up to date for those of you who missed it, and then I'll let you know what Goodell said. So this was out last week. For the first time since 2021, the phrase "end racism" did not appear in the end zone at the Super Bowl. Instead, the league chose to put "choose love" and "it takes us all." The change comes after major corporations scale back on their DEI initiative following Donald Trump's return to office last month. However, Goodell emphasizes that the league's DEI efforts are not going to change just because the trends are changing. Roger Goodell stated that DEI practices have strengthened the league, offering new perspectives and attracting better talent. Whether it's women or men or people of color, we make ourselves stronger when we make decisions that are beneficial and diverse. The NFL has faced scrutiny over their diversity hiring, and Goodell reaffirmed the league would not abandon their initiatives despite extreme pressures. Wall Street Journal reported that Donald Trump has pushed to end DEI programs, yet the NFL remains steadfast. So, like I said last week, you cannot come out and say you're pro-DEI, but then take away your DEI messaging off the field. If you say you want to change it to something else, but then and keep it somewhere in the lines of that, okay, fine. I'm like, hey, this is an update, but you're just completely changing it altogether. So you cannot say on one hand that you're DEI and then change it. And of course, this is happening because Donald Trump was there, and everybody thinks that Roger Goodell and the NFL changed it because Trump was attending the Super Bowl. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, but Goodell says he is not changing it. He just wants to affirm you guys. What do you guys think about Donald Trump showing up at the Super Bowl? Like I told you guys last week, I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool as the first sitting president to show up there. However, if him showing up there resulted in them changing, then I'm really not happy about that. But that's not Donald Trump's fault. That is Roger Goodell and the NFL's fault. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Donald Trump says he's signing an executive order to get rid of paper straws. Back to plastic. Donald Trump put this out and said, "I'll be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which do not work. It's back to plastic." Listen, I am one who hates paper straws. I hate it. What I hate even more is the wood spoons. I'm a big Dairy Queen fan. I have a Score Blizzard with extra Score and caramel every week. And I keep an old Dairy Queen red spoon because I hate the wood ones. However, if you guys know the history of what straws does to the oceans and landfills and what it's doing, then you'll see why Biden and other people, other countries are trying to do away with straws. And this is the same thing I said about DEI. And don't worry, I'm not going to get into DEI again. But I don't understand why Donald Trump, instead of saying, hey, these programs aren't working, like DEI or straws or whatever, and I don't like paper straws, and just going back to something that is not good for us, why not work to make something better than the paper straws? That is what governing is. So he's like, yeah, DEI is not working properly. Get rid of it. And then bringing us back to the 70s. Why? And I get it. I understand there are issues with DEI where it was, hey, you had quotas and then people were not hiring people based off of merit to fill quotas. I get it. But instead of abolishing it, why not you just make it better or find regulations to not let that happen and make sure that it's all merit based? And then same thing like straws. Why are we going to go back to something that is harmful to the ocean and fish and all the other things that are harmful? And just because you don't like paper, and I hate paper too, but it's 2025. Let's just make better paper or find another material. Would that be so hard to do? Just let me know. We could put a man on the moon. We can't find a better alternative to paper straws? Give me a break. Let me know what you guys think. Our second quick story. All right, jumping back to Kendrick quickly. Well, there's a couple other things in here with Kendrick. So I just wanted to let you guys know about all the subliminal messages. Like I said, I don't catch them. It's not really my thing, but want to tell you guys some of it. Samuel Jackson playing Uncle Sam, a.k.a. House N-word, like he played in Django. See, like, who didn't pick that up? Samuel Jackson warning Kendrick to play the game white Americans want him to play and not to be ghetto. Okay, fine. The Squid Game stage, which symbolized the rich doing harmful stuff to the poor. All right, I didn't get that. Really cool. However, the performance was still not great. Your set list was still not great. Like, I don't care that the symbols on the field were Squid Game and, Samuel Jackson normally plays Django, so him playing Uncle Sam. Wow, that's brilliant. Bro, you're here to give me your performance, not to make, anyways. I won't get back into it. The dancers in red, white, and blue and representing the American flag. Wow, crazy, bro. The stage also being a prison yard where his black performers harmonized while he rapped. Okay, your set list was still trash. Protecting black women like Serena Williams after the disrespect from Drake. We're going to get into that a little bit later. And once again, reminding Drake and America they not like us. How about you just remind me about your whole career as a musician? Like, these are the subliminals that are so bro. Anyways, I don't want to get too much into it. I already spent enough at the top of the show. Let me know what you guys think. Our third quick story. Ashanti breaks her silence over Irv Gotti. We told you about Irv Gotti last week. And we all didn't know. Ja Rule, I think, only tweeted out like a broken heart. I don't think he said too much. And I was like, is Ashanti going to say anything? For those of you who don't know, Ashanti and Irv Gotti were allegedly together. I don't think that she's ever come out admitted to it, but Irv was like, yo, I used to do this with Ashanti. And that's what started their beef. So everybody was like, is she going to say something? She has finally said something. All right. She said, I can't believe things ended like this. And it makes me so sad. We weren't on the best terms for the past few years, but I've always said through our ups and downs, I will forever be grateful for everything that you have done for me. We made history and that will remain infinite. I've always respected your musical genius and your ability to push me to be my best. All the greatness and positive things that came far outweigh the dark and negative times. I've always prayed for you to find peace, sending love and prayers to the entire family. Rest well, rest in peace, Irv. I thought that was very, very nice. And I'm not going to get into their whole ugly past 5 years where I think actually I even dragged Irv Gotti for the things that he was saying about Ashanti. And I think he was even doing that while she was just getting back with Nelly. So anyways, to respect Irv, I'm not going to get into it. And that's what Ashanti is doing. I thought it was very, very big of her to not go in on him or not even say anything at all, because that would have spoke even louder. So take my hat off to Ashanti. That was very nice. Our fourth quick story. Donald Trump drags Taylor Swift. Well, surprise, surprise. Donald Trump posted this on True Social. He said, the only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. Here is a video of the crowd booing Taylor Swift. And by the way, that's not MAGA booing. That's the NFL football fans, like the diehard fans saying, yo, we watch the NFL for football, not to see Taylor Swift and the Swifties. It's not, maybe some might be MAGA. And for those of you who don't know, she is a very vocal hater of Donald Trump. And of course, she put out her endorsement for Kamala Harris. So I think Donald Trump just took the advantage of the boos and was like, oh, that was all because of me. But yeah, shout out to Trump. Our fifth quick story. For those of you who weren't outside, the media tore Serena Williams to shreds for sea walking at Wimbledon. Her comeback to do a dance that referenced a culture that she is a part of during a live performance criticizing somebody for being a culture vulture is a chef's kiss, or the chef's kiss. Social media users remind fans about the significance of Serena Williams dancing at the Super Bowl stage. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was full of symbolisms, including Serena Williams' surprise performance during Not Like Us and his infamous Drake diss song. One of the fans pointed out the significance that dates back to 2012 when the tennis star C-walked at the Olympics in London after winning the gold medal. The moment was highly criticized, but it looks like Serena ran it back. Other fans have pointed out the additional symbolism, such as Serena and Drake both being from Compton and Serena's previous relationship with Drake. All right, a couple of celebrities are dragging Serena about her being married and, you know, trying to get back at Drake. We'll talk about that soon. But let's just talk about the sea-walking. I don't have a problem with this. Actually, let me play a clip for those of you who don't know what this is. Take a look. So that was Serena at Wimbledon, and we all seen her last night doing the same thing, right? So she got a lot of backlash at Wimbledon for that. So look, I get a little bit of the backlash, and a lot of people are also not happy because of what happened to her sister being unalived from that kind of that community that dance represents. Okay, so people are like, hey, your sister was unalived from the symbolism that you're dancing from, sea walking. And if that happened to your sister, why would you be representing that kind of dangerous culture? But what people don't understand is that is LA culture. Like, that's what they do. It's the C and B. Gang. Okay. So, and for those of you who don't know what the C walking in is, it's CRIP. All right. I don't want to say it, that will get, the video will get flagged. But so that CRIP walking is the LA culture. And that's where she comes up in. So although that the CRIPs were responsible for her sister's unaliving, yes, that is, of course, something that is, how do I put this? That's painful for her, but this is the culture she grew up in. So obviously the people who did that, that's a problem, but she's still from LA, and that's a representation. That's like if something happened, I'm from Montreal, and if something happened to somebody in my family from Montreal, am I not going to do something representative of Montreal because somebody from Montreal did something to my family? Does that make sense? Like, that is representation of LA, like it or not. That's just their culture. So I don't have a problem with her doing this dance. Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. But that's who they are. That's LA. And that's what happens when you are from that culture, like it or not. But I think my Montreal example is actually a really good example. Let me know what you guys think. Our sixth quick story. Akademiks says the NFL is threatening to sue him after he leaked Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime set list. Says he got it from an arena employee. Akademiks says the NFL is threatening to sue him after he leaked Kendrick's set. He also revealed he got the list from somebody who was working at the arena. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs at the Sky Dome. Interestingly enough, Akademiks later apologized and said that he leaked it in hopes that Kendrick would change it. However, Kendrick doubled down on his set list. Whatever. Here's quickly Akademiks. He's swearing throughout the whole thing. I can't even play a lot. I don't want to bleep everything out, but just listen to him quickly.
Niggas don't leak shit, nigga. I told y'all what's gonna happen. It happened. Let me tell you how I got that Kendrick's Super Bowl performance. Who worked at the arenas?
He put in his stories, he said, sorry, Kendrick, that I leaked your performance. I apologize. You did your thing, though. I leaked Kendrick's Super Bowl performance, hoping he would change it. He didn't. He doubled down. I'm what the culture was feeling. I'm trying to save y'all from that. I tried to save y'all from that, saying, again, just taking a knock at his set list. So one of the things why I wanted to put this in here is that we all know what Akademiks went through last week, which I'm not going to talk about because my video got flagged, so I'm not even going to bring it up. But bro, you just are fresh off of that, what happened to you, and people are trying to cancel you out here. just go to the damn Super Bowl and enjoy yourself, bro. Like, why are you online? Yeah, I leaked this list, da da da. Like, you said on your stream, like, you know what? I'm gonna lay low. I got a little big-headed. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm gonna do better. And like 2 weeks later, you're there, like, this is just chill a little bit, bro. You know, chill. Our 7th quick story. Do y'all agree? Boosie says certain rappers are wrong for not supporting Drake after he gave them features. That's weak to me, says Boosie. All right, so Boosie put this out and he said, just imagine how Drake feels after boosting so many artists' career with his features. Those same rappers ain't got nothing positive to say about this dude. That's weak to me. On God, if I was Drake, nobody would ever get a feature from me again. I like that finally somebody said that, because when I say that, it's like, oh my gosh, is Drake paying you to say that? Like, that's what all you guys say out here. Like, oh, every day Trent mentions Drake. But he has done so much to elevate so many people. Now you guys like flip it back and be like, oh, he just did that because he's a culture vulture. He just does stuff with Atlanta rappers. He's one of the biggest artists ever. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, look, I don't want to even get my opinion. Boosie said that. He has given a lot of artists support, and nobody is standing beside him because y'all just love to hate Drake. Even the people that love him, they love to hate him. He's like the guy at high school that you like, but he's just easy to pick on. Like, I just don't understand where this comes from. But Drake has always been able to manage his way through that, I think. So I think he's going to be fine. Oh, that's one of the things that I forgot to say in my in lead stories. I'll throw it in here quickly. For the first time, I'm actually a little worried for Drake. I won't lie. Like, a lot of y'all really don't like Drake. And it's moved from the ha ha ha, let's make fun. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't like Drake. Because even though they don't like this performance, they still like that he made fun of Drake. Like, that's why I asked the question earlier, like, do you hate Drake that much or do you really like the performance? Like, people just are really starting to not like Drake. Like, I don't know if you can come back for this. If anybody can, it is Drizzy, but the Drake hate is crazy, man. Anyways, a lot of you artists that got your stimulus package, and by the way, just to put a little bow on this, who was the artist that took Kendrick on his first tour when he was unknown? Do you have the answer to that? Well, if you don't, let me tell you, it was Drizzy Drake. Drake took Kendrick out on his first tour. He liked him. He thought he was dope, and he took him out to give him an opportunity. And now look. I understand rap battle and rap beef. Okay, it's fine. I'm just saying, pretty ironic. Our 8th quick story. Jay-Z, Blue Ivy, and Rumi Carter take the field ahead of Super Bowl. All right, here's a picture of Jay-Z with Rumi and Blue Ivy. No, that's not Beyonce beside him. That's Blue Ivy. It's crazy how much older she is getting. Now, why I wanted to put this in here is last week, I don't know if maybe it's Monday or last week's episode, I asked you guys, I said, I'm very interested to see how Jay-Z and Beyonce, specifically Beyonce, is going to move in 2025 with all the backlash Jay-Z is getting. And I said it was the Grammy episode when we were recapping the Grammys. I was like, I don't really see that much hate for Jay-Z. It's pretty good. When Beyonce did the Beyonce Bowl for Netflix, all the comments was hate. Then with the Grammys, I didn't see any hate, and I'm online all the time. Then we told you guys yesterday's episode that Beyonce was like, yo, I'm keeping him at home because I'm afraid of all the backlash and sponsors leaving. And this is why. This Entertainment Tonight posted this, and I wanted to just read you guys some of the comments. Somebody wrote, isn't he going to prison? Another person said, Jay, stop acting like you so innocent, boy. Isn't he going to jail with P. Diddy? Another person said, why is Jay-Z not in prison with his buddy Puff? Jay-Z is an R word and he is a Grammy buyer. Lick. Another person said he should be in jail with his pal Diddy. P. Diddy is waiting for his new cellmate, Jay-Z. This is why Beyonce is leaving him at home, man. Their downfall will be glorious. Paid for her last Grammys. People idolize the wrong people. Nobody cares. Jay-Z walking around like he didn't do anything wrong when he was hanging out with Diddy. He said, putting on a show. Now they're starting to walk around with their kids to soften our hearts. Just saying, we're not going to forget about it. You walking around here and acting all innocent. Somebody said dislike button. Boo with the thumbs down. Yo, that's a lot, man. I don't know if Jay can come back from this. Yo, like, he is not really in the hip hop world anymore, but he's still with Rocnation, and I know he has his other businesses, but I don't know if he can come back. We talked about this a lot in yesterday's episode, so I'm not going to dig back into it, but the backlash just from the Super Bowl, we said yesterday, like, maybe Beyonce, the rumors are true. Maybe Beyonce might be thinking about divorcing him because this will really severely bring down Beyonce's brand. Listen to the comments I just wrote to you. And the lawsuit is not even over yet. It hasn't even started. Who knows what's going to happen? Can you imagine if he has to pay? If he has to pay, it's over. It's over. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 9th quick story. Dank D. Moss speaks out on her Lyft incident. Okay, you guys remember 2-3 weeks ago, Dank, the rapper, I think she's from Detroit. Is she from Detroit? Can't remember. But she was from Detroit. I remember she ordered the Lyft driver or the Lyft, whatever. And the driver was like, no, you can't fit in my cab or in the back, on the back seat. So I have to drive off. She filmed it. It went viral, went everywhere. She sat down with the Breakfast Club to do an interview. And I wanted to pull a part of the interview out. Well, 2 parts. One, is a little bit of gloating because everything I said, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, I agree with that. It's not true. I said to you guys, you don't think that she's ordered Lyft a million times before? And she says in this interview, yeah, I order Lyft all the time. Because let me backtrack, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. A lot of people were saying, I wouldn't let her in my car either. Nah, she can't fit. I wouldn't let her in. And I was like, obviously she knows she could fit in the car or else she wouldn't have ordered it, or she would have ordered an XL. So she says in the interview, she's like, yeah, dude, I order it all the time. That's how I know I would fit. So here she is. And then I'll tell you another thing that I said that somebody else said in the interview, but take a listen.
And this is the first time this has ever happened?
The first time.
You normally order the regular cars?
Yeah, I always order the regular cars, and I feel like I don't have to order an Uber XL.
Okay, now here's a clip. What I said 2 weeks ago was, if this driver was afraid of Dank, and I think she's 400 or 450 pounds, I said, do you know how much 3 people weigh, or 4 people if you put 3 in the back and 1 in the front? It's over 450 pounds. And a guy that was there in the interview, I don't know who this guy is, if it's her brother, manager, or whatever, he said, very smart, and he said, if that was 4 hot girls at the end of the night at a club and they called a Lyft and they were in like nice outfits and their hair done, and there was 4 girls, he would have 100% let them in their car. And those 4 girls collectively weigh more than Dank. 100% he would have left them in. Take a listen.
No, I bet if it was 125-pound bad, he'd have fit their ass, and that's 500 right there.
He just made a damn good point.
I am Team Dank. I think the Lyft driver was wrong. I don't know if he got fired or what happened, but I disagree with all of you guys in the comment section who disagreed with me. Still respect your opinion. That's what the comment section is for. But he should have let her in. And when I covered this story, I Googled, and our small to mid-sized car is built to take 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. There's 3 seats in the back. Anybody who is watching this and that drives, don't tell me you've never had 3 people in your back seat. 3 people in your back seat is 450 pounds right there. Adults. Imagine if there are 3 guys. Guys, you're telling me you never rode with 3 of your boys in the back? 3 of your boys in the back, that's 600 pounds. Let's see, each guy is close to 200 pounds each. That's 600 pounds, dog. Come on. No reason why she should not have been let in. And also in the interview, she says that she could fit in smaller cars. She fits in Priuses. She fits in her friend's car that was exactly the same car as that Lyft driver. So I hope this ends the debate online of people like, oh, I wouldn't damage my car either. I wouldn't damage my car. That makes no sense. You've had 3 people or more in the back of your car. Don't tell me you haven't. It's impossible. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 10th quick story. Drizzy Drake's legal team releases a new statement. All right, when I first saw this, I thought they were making a statement about the Super Bowl. It's not. It's about their Universal Music Group lawsuit. So Drake's legal team releases a new statement regarding Universal Music Group's lawsuit. UMG, well, his lawyer said, UMG is masking around as a champion for artistic freedom by calling their actions merely entertainment. But there is nothing entertainment about the P word in real life, an artist calling another artist the P word. We are confident that the evidence we will ultimately present at trial, including information we've already learned and continue to receive since filing the lawsuit, will expose UMG. I thought that was really interesting. The information we've already learned and continue to receive. There's something going on. Everyone's like, Drake, this is ridiculous, whatever. His lawyers have something and they're alluding to it like this. I think this is like to just make Universal a little bit scared. Like I told you, Tony Busby and Jay-Z's lawyer does this in the press sometimes. I think they just came across something and they put out this press release to make UNG scared. Who knows what will happen? I feel like they're going to settle and Drake will get some money or he'll just get his contract. But I want to give you guys an update because everyone's just been talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake and the whole performance. And a lot of people are forgetting about this UMG case. It's still going on. We'll see what happens. And of course, I'll follow up and let you guys know. Our 11th quick story. Kanye West's X account disabled after a 3-day rant. Over the weekend, Ye went on a posting rampage. His comments sparked immediate backlash, but he continued to double down. After backlash mounted, he shifted focus to Diddy, who is currently under federal investigation, and he actually asked Donald Trump to intervene and free his brother Diddy. Even during the 2025 Super Bowl, Kanye kept posting, which led to his account receiving a sensitive content warning. Users started noticing the label, which read, "Caution, this profile may include information that has sensitive content." He also took aim at Taylor Swift, and he says, "If it's about the culture, why are we letting Taylor Swift be seen on TV singing a song about taking a black man down and accusing him of things that will be hard for him to come back in life?" Anyways, I don't necessarily believe that Kanye West's account has been taken down. I think that he wanted to do his thing. He wanted you guys to talk about him during Super Bowl. He's promoting his album. He wants to sell some t-shirts. He wants to sell some product. He spent $8 million on a Super Bowl halftime show, commercial, and now he's done. And it makes it more news. Like, oh my gosh, he went so bad that they took him off. They didn't take him off, man. He disabled that. That's just my thinking. And I've heard a couple of people saying the same thing, but it's it for Kanye for now. I've heard his album might be coming out in May or whatever. So this was just to let us know he released one single. So that means he's going to be quiet. For those of you who were sick of hearing it, like I was, you won't hear it anymore. But just know that sometime around April, May, we'll start hearing Kanye West again. But at least we have a two-month break. Our 12th quick story. Was Micheal Jackson the greatest Super Bowl halftime show of all times? All right, listen to this for those of you who didn't know. This is a reminder that Micheal Jackson is the reason why Super Bowl has a halftime show. Micheal Jackson performed during halftime of a 52-17 Dallas Cowboys victory over the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl. I don't know what this number is. Oh, here. There was a Roman numeral, but it's January 31st, 1993 at the Rose Bowl in California. Was this the greatest Super Bowl halftime show ever? So I think it was because it's what kicked off halftime show. Did you guys know that the halftime used to be like a circus act? Like it used to be really like halftime. Everybody go eat or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, the Super Bowl was losing their audience at halftime whenever it wasn't good, and people would go to other stations. So they were like, yo, we need to create something that keeps people tuned in and not changing to go to another channel to watch something else, and they might not come back. So the ratings used to dip. They went and got the biggest artist in the world at that time, Micheal Jackson, and that's now why we have the biggest stage for a music artist is the Super Bowl halftime show, which is why I was so disappointed in Kendrick. Don't worry, I'm not getting back into it. I said my piece already. But Micheal Jackson is the reason why this is the greatest feat of all times. And if you guys go back, Google it, finish watching my show first, go Google it and check out Micheal Jackson's halftime show. And that is why I say, because of the origins of it, it never started out as like, he put on a show that changed the way halftime is done for the biggest sporting event and helped it become one of the most televised, the most watched televised sportscast, televised show on TV. I think that's what it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Micheal Jackson set the bar, and every artist has been trying or should be trying to reach that bar. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
2 days ago.
Our 13th quick story. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce's ex, Kayla Nicole, proudly cheers and celebrates the Eagles' Super Bowl win. Yo, I thought this was hilarious. Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend was on the football field after the Eagles won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. All right, I'm going to play the video beside me. This is Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend. For those who are not seeing, like, she's blowing the green confetti in the screen. And I feel like she's literally just like blowing it in his face. A lot of people drag Kelce for leaving her for Taylor Swift. And, you know, they just feel like Travis was like in the hip hop community. He was always dating black girls. And like, you left her to go to be with Taylor, who's, you know, not of the culture, right? So that's why a lot of people in the hip hop world are like, yo, what are you doing? And of course, this is the year of dragging anything that's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. They were dragged by the refs. They were dragging because Taylor Swift was always at the games. They're dragging them because, you know, Swifties are now watching it. So his girlfriend is literally just capitalizing and be like, yo, you left me and now you lost. But however, let's not get it twisted. Travis Kelce is still going to go down as one of, if not the greatest tight end of all times. And he has 3 Super Bowls. So give me a break. What have you done? You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Our 14th quick story. Stephen A. Smith says Serena Williams shouldn't be worried about her ex Drake. She's married, questioning why she was trolling him by dancing during Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance instead of focusing on her current relationship. Yo, I'll be honest, I didn't even think about it this way because I know how much she likes to drag him, but 100%. Yo, if that was my girl and we're in a relationship, yo, you're not going to the Super Bowl to drag your ex-boyfriend. Like, why is Drake on your mind, Serena? You know what I'm saying? It's giving, yo, I'm still mad. I'm still hurt. But it's a thin line between love and hate, you know? Stephen A. Smith, I wish I had the clip, but I couldn't find it. He said, I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex to get back at him because clearly you don't belong with me. What you worried about him for? And you're with me? Nah, bye. So I'm sure Stephen A. Smith would have said it better than that. I did my best Stephen A. impression. But for real, that would maybe be the conversation I have with my girl. Like, yo, why are you doing this? Why do you care? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to go drag your ex-girlfriend? Now, to be fair, it's not like, you know, she's going to go drag him like on his tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Super Bowl and it's a chance to, you know, be part of history. So if you look at it in that space, it's the Super Bowl stage. But again, I agree with Stephen A. Smith that if I was her husband, I'd have a problem. But I'm also very biased. I've told you how much I love Serena Williams, so she doesn't do anything wrong in my books. Boosie agreed, and he tweeted out and he said, Serena giving Heartbroken by Drake vibes. So I wanted to throw this at you guys. What do you think about Serena? Do you agree with Boosie and Stephen A. Smith? Is it giving heartbreak vibes? Is it giving, yo, Drake hurt me and I want to get him back? Or is it giving, yo, Kendrick's from Compton, I'm from Compton, I just want to support my boy. And while I'm supporting my boy, I get to take a little shot at my ex. That my ex, Drake, has actually taken shots at me on tracks and taken shots at my husband. So because he's taken shots at me and I'm not a rapper, I'm going to take shots back at him while he's getting dissed at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, and who knows? Maybe her husband was like, yeah, I'm totally down with it. So anyways, but like I told you, I'm biased. I love Serena. It's my baby mama. Let me know what you guys think. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. All right, Boosie says that Diddy deserves to be released from jail on bond. He said he didn't unalive anybody. Also in his tweet, he says, Puff do deserve a bond. He ain't unalive nobody, and people who have unalived people get bonds sometimes. So I wanted to bring this to social discussion, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. A lot of people, even people who don't agree with what Diddy did, think that he should get a bond. And I've always been on the fence, so that's why I wanted to bring it here. Because A, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And there was a case from, you guys are going to drag me for pronouncing it wrong, Abercrombie and Finch. Did I say it right? Abercrombie and Finch, I think. That there was that CEO who got off on a $10 million bail, and arguably that he did worse things. However, I told you guys whenever we cover the fact that Diddy wasn't getting bond, that Diddy didn't do himself any favors by taking up minutes at the jail, talking to people, taking other inmates' minutes, talking to people on the phone, saying things on the phone that are being recorded. How he talked to, I think it was Dawn, one of the group members from, I can't remember the name of the group again, Dirty Money. So the reason why they don't want to let Diddy out is not because he's not innocent until proven guilty, is that he's already shown, and they have proof that he's not tampering, but he's getting in the mix of the investigation. And that's already behind bars. If we let you out, what could he possibly be doing while he's out? However, like Boosie says, there's people who have unalived people and they get out. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've unalived somebody and you get out on bond, like, if you're on trial and you've done that, then should Diddy not get a bond? It's a really good question. Now, put your hate aside for Diddy, everything that he did with Cassie, I totally get it. But is him talking to Dawn? He called Dawn. Remember, he called her 50 times, and the prosecution was like, hey, he's talking to our witnesses, and, you know, he could eventually maybe get to them for them not to testify against him, and we don't want him messing with our case, so we'd like to keep him in jail. What I said to that is he could still get to them by talking to his son, and his son can do it, or his lawyers, so you're not really stopping anything. But I think it's an interesting question, so I wanted to bring it to you guys. Take that your hatred or everything that he did aside and just look at it from a black and white perspective. If he's innocent, so proven guilty, and there's people who had worse crimes and they got out on bail, should Diddy get let out on bail? I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What's the most ridiculous reason you stopped talking to somebody? All right, somebody said we went on 4 dates, and each time he had the same pairs of shoes on. What? Are you joking? All I do is wear white on white Air Force Ones. Anybody that knows me, because I own a sneaker boutique, it's like if you work at Dairy Queen, you get tired of Dairy Queen all the time, right? So it doesn't become a thing. Because I was around sneakers all the time, I just got fed up of it. So I just wear a white on white sneaker. So you wouldn't talk to me if you saw me 4 times on the date wearing white on white sneakers. That's a you problem. Anyways, people have said that I need to change it up, but I just like them, man. Anyway, somebody said I stopped talking to him because he was a Pisces. I can't stand people that do that. Yes, I don't believe that much in astrology. Not that I don't believe it, but I just don't think that you should make judgments off of it. But for the people who believe it that much that you'll stop talking because somebody is some way, come on, that's a little crazy. Somebody said they had the little white foam on the side of their mouth when they speak. That's pretty bad. I don't know if that's ridiculous. That's pretty fair if you ask me. I feel bad for people like that. Somebody says, none of them are that ridiculous. I'm a Virgo and I'll stop speaking to you if it's if I was warned to. Anyways, another astrology thing. Somebody said because their breasts stank. I don't believe that's not ridiculous. I was with a girl and I was like, if I see her one more time and her breasts stink, then I'm just gonna let her know. And I told her, I'm like, yo, it's kicking, dog. It's kicking. And she had tartar buildup. And nobody ever told her. And I'm like, yeah, it's bad. I'm that friend that will tell you anything that's wrong. Like, you got something in your nose, I'm the friend that's going to tell you. Your breasts stink, I'm going to be one that's going to tell you. And even if you brush your teeth and it still smell a little frowsy, I'm going to be like, yo, you should make a dentist appointment. And it just so happened she hadn't been to the dentist in like 5 or 6 years. And when she went, the dentist actually went with her. The dentist said, I've never seen this much plaque buildup. I was like, can you not see it on your teeth? Anyways, I digress. Somebody said because he was a Capricorn. I knew we were going to get astrology stuff in here. Somebody says because they blink too much. I don't think that's ridiculous. Somebody blinks too much, that could be pretty annoying. I maybe I'm a little ridiculous, but those little ticks, those little things, I feel you, man. White foam, that's bad. Somebody said her Wi-Fi was bad. That is a reflection on the type of person you are. If you have bad Wi-Fi, somebody said just because. Okay. Somebody said because they're boring. That's not ridiculous. Somebody said he had smooth wrists. Okay. I don't know if that's some like inside thing. Some things I can't read. She said because she, okay, no, I can't read that. I wish I could like read you some of these things. Somebody said just because boring. Oh, that was the same thing. Sorry. Because he was annoying. Come on. Here is a good one. Because I don't like the way they chewed. I think those things are totally fair, man. If you like somebody, you're attracted to somebody, fine. But those little things, you got to be around somebody all day. If they're chewing bad, look, I think you got to tell them. But if somebody blinks a lot, I don't think they could change that. But if you're chewing bad or your breasts stink, that's something you could change. If you like somebody, you could help them change. Somebody said their head shape. I agree. Maybe I am a little picky. That's probably why I'm single. But my pickiness is more about personality, though. Somebody said I didn't like her feet. I hate all feet. I love everything. Like, I'm not the person that like gets grossed out about stuff. I'm very, very open-minded. But one thing I don't do is feet. Nope. Don't touch me with your feet. Somebody said their feet stank. Yeah. On top of it, even if you got pretty feet, I'm not a big feet guy. But if it stank, yo, you got to go. Somebody says their shoes was leaning. His tooth fell out. They spelt my name wrong. It's Chevy, Chevi, not Y. Oh my gosh. She had no and too many freckles. What? She had no ad? Oh, okay. I know what he's saying. I can't read that. Anyways, whatever. She thinks that she was my wife. Anyways, oh, hold on. Last one. I get a kick out of these things. Sorry. Question of the day is one of my favorite segments. Hold on. Somebody says, none are ridiculous, but, oh gosh. All right. I can't read this. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry to hype you up. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What are some ridiculous things that makes you stop talking to somebody? Let me know what you could think in the comment section below. All right, let's get to it. This brings us to sports news. Let's talk about my Kansas City Chiefs taking an L. All right, I was wrong. I thought Kansas City was going to three-peat. I did say I was nervous, though. Give me credit. I wanted them to win. I was very nervous. However, I got to keep it real. Patrick Mahomes was horrible. That's my guy. Horrible. I could take an L, man. I could take a loss. But what was that? There's no excuse to be that bad. Like, that was an embarrassment. Like I said, I had a bunch of people here. I was so hyped up. I had so much food. I had so much pizza. Oh my gosh, my mom made some oxtail and rice. Not she had oxtail. She had curry chicken and rice and peas. Like, we had dessert. Like, I was set up. It was crazy. We were so bored. What a boring game, Patrick. Anyways, I made a little thing here so I didn't forget. I said, so disappointed in Patrick Mahomes. What an embarrassment. A huge tarnish on his record. Oh, yes, this is why I wrote this. But this just cements Michael Jordan as one of the best ever because Michael Jordan was able to three-peat not once, but twice. And that just shows what an impossible feat it is, or near impossible feat it is, to three-peat. And as much as I love Serena Williams, and this is not taking anything away, the record for the Open era was 24. Serena Williams has the most majors in the most, just going to tennis, sorry, not to confuse you. Is it the Open era or closed era? And one of the two. Anyways, in the Open era or closed era, it's 22. So she beat that record. But in the other era, which is the older era with the older rackets, the number is 24. The most Grand Slams are 24. I'm sure you guys are confused now. Like, what the heck is Trent talking about? It was just football, and now you went to tennis. Just listen to me. Serena Williams has 23. She needed one more major to tie Margaret Court for 24, would be the most majors ever. And then one more after that to win at 25. Do you know that Serena Williams went to 4 finals and couldn't make it over the hump? Why? Well, one, it was after her being pregnant. So you women out there, you know how things change. And poor her, she never got to finish that and break that record. She was one behind. But it's mental. Patrick Mahomes went to 2 championships. Nobody in NFL history has ever won a three-peat. That was on his mind, and it's the mental toughness. And if you can't get around that, you can't even play. So it wasn't just a game. It wasn't just a championship. It was, I have the opportunity to do what no other human being has ever done before. And that messed with him. And that's why he couldn't even be the normal Patrick Mahomes. That's why he couldn't even give you a proper game. And all that is to say, that's why it is amazing what Michael Jordan has done, a three-peat. And he did it twice. So shout out to Jordan. But I don't know what this means. Oh, I have this here. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. He wrote this. He said, appreciate all the love and support from Chiefs Nations. I let you down today. I will always continue to work and try to learn and be better for it. Want to give my thanks to God for every opportunity he has given me. We will be back. Now, I don't know if he wrote that, but regardless, that was really dope. After losing like that, so hard, like he's got to be crushed. For him to post that up just shows strength. Kobe Bryant is this type of championship where he's like, I'm going to sleep, brush it off, and get back in the gym the next day. If Patrick Mahomes is the Patrick Mahomes that I think he is, he's going to take a day and then be back in the gym and be working harder. I personally don't know if I could go for Patrick again next year and the Kansas City Chiefs, because that was such a huge embarrassment. And I said that even before this loss, I said this was my last year going for Mahomes, because I just wanted him to have a record that was better than Brady's, because Brady never three-peated. He has one back-to-back, and I wanted him to beat that. I said after this year, I was going to start going for Kendrick Lamar. I was going to start going for Lamar Jackson. So it's tough, man. I think next year I might have to just go over to Lamar Jackson. I'll let you guys know at the start of the year. But my new NFC team, well, I never really had an NFC team, but Jaden Daniels, man. I really hope Jaden and the Washington Commanders get to Super Bowl next year. Washington, Baltimore Ravens, and then maybe my second team will be Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know what you guys thought about Super Bowl. Let me know what you guys thought about everything that was going on in this episode. And thank you for kicking it with me on this Tuesday episode. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up to date with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching this on YouTube, and you can't always catch a show on YouTube, and you'll want us on podcast platforms if you're in the car or maybe going to travel and you need to download us, we are available on all podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Do not forget to hit the follow or the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show that you might need to download. So, vice versa, for those people who are used to watching this show or listening to the show on podcast platforms, please try to check me out on YouTube. It is my favorite way to watch the show. If you think I'm live and fun on audio, wait till you see me live and direct on your living room. Watch me on your TV. It's fun over here on YouTube. I play videos. I show pictures. I'm very animated. It's fun. All right. I'm here working for y'all. And also we have a really cool community. Our comment section is lit. I read the comments every night while I'm in bed. It's one of my favorite things to do. And people always ask me, how do you do a podcast by yourself? And I always tell them, I'm not doing a podcast by myself. I'm doing it with you guys in the comment section. I read it and we talk about it the next day, even when you drag me. All right. So thank you very, very much for all of that. And make sure you try to check us out on YouTube. For those of you who want to follow me on social media, I'm available on all social platforms. And it's always the same handle, Trend Out Loud. I'll see you for Hump Day Wednesday. Hey, does this mean that the weekend is getting a little closer? Wednesday, it's coming, y'all. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace.